Over many hundred years, from the Middle Ages until now, the French city of Thiers has been the capital of the French cutlery industry. However, over the centuries it became clear that one thing was missing, something that could represent the city's rich heritage. So in 1994, several cutlery companies from Thiers decided to change this, and they founded the Brotherhood of the Thier knife. The goal was to create a knife that would reflect the city's long tradition of knife making. And 1 year later, the Brotherhood released the first Le Thier knife. The founding members of the Brotherhood did not only define the design guidelines, they also came up with a set of rules and standards. So Le Thier is more of a concept rather than a specific knife pattern. There is a formal process that ensures that only high-quality knives are allowed to carry the name Le Thier. If a cutlery company comes up with a new prototype, this prototype must be submitted to a commission of the guild for approval. Also, the cutlery company commits itself to certain procedures and standards. For example, the manufacturer of a Thier knife is not allowed to use any misleading marketing claims such as authentic, genuine, or superior. They are only allowed to use the name Le Thier in connection with the company name, which finally brings us to today's knife. As you can see here, the stamp on the blade says Le Thier par Chambriard. In other words, this is a Le Thier knife made by the cutlery company Chambriard, a family business that goes back to 1880. By the way, a member of the Chambriard family, Dominique Chambriard, was a founding member of the Brotherhood of the Thier knife. This specific model is called Le Compagnon, but it's not the only Le Thier knife by Chambriard, but as far as I know, it was the first one. It was first released in 1998, and in the following years, Chambriard came up with several variations of this knife. There is a version with a corkscrew called Grand Cru. Here we've got a model called Le Trappeur, which is available both with and without corkscrew. And there is also a smaller version of this knife, the Compact or Compact. And as you can see here, all these knives come with a variety of different handle materials, from olive wood over some exotic woods to stag and horn. As I already mentioned, this model is called Le Compagnon, and honestly, can there be a better name for a pocket knife? Compagnon means companion or friend in English, but I've always liked the literal meaning of the word compagnon. It is derived from the Latin words cum, English with, and panis, English bread. So, un compagnon or a companion is someone you share your bread with. As for the specs of this knife, the overall length is 20.5 centimeters, the closed length is 11.5 centimeters, and the blade length is 9.5 centimeters. The blade thickness is 3 millimeters, but slowly tapers towards the tip. The weight comes in at 90 grams. Let's do a quick size comparison. Here I've got an Opinel number 8. And this is the well-known Buck 110. The blade is made of stainless steel. The stamp only says acier rasoir, which simply means razor steel. This model is from 2012, but I know that older models came with 12C27, which is a very common steel in French cutlery. So far I haven't noticed any significant difference to 12C27. The blade came very sharp out of the box and the edge holding has been pretty decent so far. Speaking of blade steel, this knife is also available with carbon steel. The blade is full flat ground, which I prefer for a gentleman knife like this. There is a nail nick for easy opening, but there is no locking mechanism. Le Compagnon is a slip joint knife with a well-adjusted back spring. As for the blade shape, the spine of the blade is almost a straight line, Only on the last centimeter or so it drops very slightly, maybe half a millimeter, you hardly even notice it. But now look at the overall shape. Look at this slender and elegant silhouette of the knife. I'm fascinated by the pleasing flow of lines and shapes. The forged back spring comes with this awesome file work, which of course is handcrafted. The French word for this kind of file work is guillochage. Also please note the T, which refers to the name Thier. The handle scales are made of juniper wood. I chose this wood because of its beautiful irregular grain pattern and its peppery smell. The handle scales are mounted on two stainless steel liners. At the blade end of the handle there are these nicely shaped stainless steel bolsters with a matte satin finish. I'm really impressed with how well this knife is built and finished. Le Compagnon really lives up to its name. It's an elegant companion, a gentleman knife with great style. If you are into French knives, Le Compagnon is definitely a must-have in your knife collection.